Hey everyone, I hope that you are well and having a great week so far. The markets are flourishing once again, and we have recently seen a shift back into some of those innovation and tech plays that I like to call are high up in our portfolio. NIO has been surging, so has BYDDY, and I have been putting out some alerts in our Patreon for some high Chinese stocks that I think are very undervalued right now that I have been buying the dip on recently. Now if we come on the Nasdaq, just 30 seconds to go over before we go over all the charts on NIO. Nasdaq is sitting at all-time highs, and of course the snp500 is also around those all-time highs too. So the markets are set to flourish. We are going to be coming into one of the strongest earnings seasons that we have ever seen into the third quarter of this year, which will start from next month. So again, I do expect the stock market to continue on the trend that it has been, where there is a slight kind of sideways trend, but some of those innovation and tech plays will see some enormous shifts, and we will have those green days again as well as those influx of red days. Now NIO has sold off 5% on the day yesterday for no apparent reason. Perhaps Volkswagen have been making some remarks about the Chinese automobile, and that is why they have come down, but it's nothing to worry about. They are now at a nice spot, and they have started to hold up in that position again in the lower to higher 40s, and we have seen that shift back from the 30s just a few weeks ago when I did say this was a perfect buy the dip opportunity on a lot of our favorite stocks. So if you have been catching it, then that is absolutely fantastic. It's no good now running to these channels and expecting to see a gain once you buy in, once the prices have now pushed up 25%, guys, because that is when you should not have bought. You should have been buying it when everything was down red. And again, if you were one of my patrons, that is when you would have heard me say in the channel this is a perfect time to buy, and I have been letting out those buy signals for a lot of those top stocks, and now we have seen that lovely flourish that we have been awaiting inside our portfolio. Now this is just something as a long-term investor you have to train yourself for, because if you train yourself to buy when prices have pushed up, you are going to have a heightened risk, and that is when you're not going to make A, as much money as a return, and B, again, once those prices do come back down, you're going to be panicked because the prices have dropped from those highs when you have bought in, and you are more likely to sell due to fear, FOMO, fear of missing out, and that way you are going to lose money in the markets. You're probably going to give up and you're not going to come back, and that is what you want to avoid. So finding a company that is not changing its fundamentals long term, that is set for growth, it's set for global domination, and they have very strong revenues predicted over the next 12 months because they are ramping up their production of whatever manufacturing they have in store for that company. That is when you need to look for a buy the dip opportunity to hold that stock for the long term, just like we have been doing with SPCE, which has now seen more than 150% gain over the last month, which is incredible. If you were on this channel when I was saying buy SPCE, that is up now near $40, and we had NIO around $30, which is now all the way back up to around that 45 benchmark. So these are some of the plays. I do want to talk about NIO though, because I think that at these prices, once we do come back down again to that very low cap of 40, if you have not established a position, then for the long term this is going to be an absolute fine play to get in at these levels, because again, moving through the next 12 months, guys, we are going to start to see a doubling of their manufacturing process once we do have that shift with their new vehicle that will be coming out in January, the ET7, and also we then have their global domination happening in Norway. And once JAC starts to ramp up their production, because they are going to have a second facility in China that is going to allow them to produce double the numbers of electrical vehicles, again we are going to see an enormous surge in these shares, because their sedans are doing so well right now in China, and they are working so heavily on their autonomous driving aspect of their business and revenue. They are scaling not only in those electrical vehicles, but they are also scaling them in their lifestyle products. Now, one of the companies that we have been buying alongside NIO, which is very, very similar again, is BYDDY. But before I talk just to you about BYDDY, I just want to give my foresight over the next 12 months for NIO as a price prediction, because we have also seen those highs of around $65. I equally expect NIO to be anywhere between $65 and $70 in the next 12 months. Now, when this happens, it will all be due to the pandemic and how they get those delivery numbers out. Once we start to see that shift at the beginning of the year with that new lineup for NIO's new vehicle, then that is when we are going to start to see another surge in that share price. So I'm very, very excited again to hold this in my top 5 inside my portfolio. But it is worth mentioning that BYDDY has recently seen an enormous surge up from those lows of about $28 all the way to $57. So this is a doubling in comparison to the NIO stock. So if you were to compare that, imagine NIO had pushed up 100%, would you be wanting to take some profits? There is nothing wrong with taking profits if you are up in a position. Now I think that at these prices for BYDDY, this could be a nice place to perhaps trim that position, wait for a further pullback once we do have some further selling on the RSI, and then again start to re-add and allocate into that position. Again, that is if you are someone that wants to take a swing trade in this position and you are happy to take profits at these levels. Wait for that further drop, get back in and start to capitalize and make more money. But if you are someone that is just wanting to buy and hold for the next 3 to 5 years, then I'm sure that this is going to be another fantastic opportunity. It is also worth the mention that in the autonomous technology ETF with ARK Invest, they are holding BYDY, and that is at position number 80. They have about a 2% allocation inside their ETF to this stock, and recently they did actually trim their position in BYDD as well. So these are two of the electrical vehicle makers right now in China that is going to allow to have that diversification into an emerging market, again, which is in the other side of the world. And as we see that shift into global domination with electrical vehicles coming into fruition over the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to see an enormous surge in the share prices if these companies continue to deliver month on month with what they have scheduled and how they have been doing over the last 12 months. So these are two stocks, guys, to watch. I do have a price prediction on BYD again for $78 to $85 over the next 12 months, coming into the later half of next year around the summer time. So those are my two price forecasts for NIO and BYD, and again what I have been doing with those two stocks. Now just to end this quick video today, guys, if you are someone that is looking to buy into stocks but you are not sure where to go, then be sure to check out all the videos that I have done on any of your particular favorite stocks on my channel. Feel free to join the private Patreon where I update and put out my buy and sell alerts when I do find good values in the market for the price of a coffee, just $4 a month. Now again, if you are anyone that is new to this channel, then welcome. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Have an excellent week, guys, and I look forward to seeing you back on my channel soon for some more content on investing. Ciao.